Thank you. All right. I'm so excited. Welcoming everyone to Exploring the Metaphysical. And our guest today is the famous or infamous Linda Grindle. And she goes by Linda G Comanche Psychic. She's a YouTube sensation, and she has more than 144,000 followers.
Is
Can you
that what I
believe
have
that?
now?
Wow. I looked it up. At least that's what
Dang.
I think it saw it on the website. She shares her gift through her psychic hits and her mediumship connections. She's no longer offering paid readings, but she is offering a few free readings each month to her YouTube followers. She does a drawing. And then she will frequently upload videos with insights about current events, which are helping to keep us calm and often laughing as well. She has some wonderful guests on as well. You've got to check out her YouTube channel. So, Linda, welcome.
Thank you.
I do have a list of questions since you prefer to do it that way.
Yeah, I don't
So,
like to know what the questions are in advance.
no. But you often tell us that you um, did not practice a gift. You didn't know you had a gift in the early days, but tell us how you came across that.
Well, I read cards through nursing school in the 1980s and paid for my nursing school.
Right.
Um, when I was in Laguna Beach in the 1980, actually, I had a hairdresser who could read tarot, and I'm like, ooh, ooh, read me, read me. And he said, sure. And he threw out the cards and he said, you know what? You're going to be able to read these cards better than me. I'm like, what? He said, keep these cards. I'm giving them to you. Play with them. Read people who are friends. Just do that. He was a Virgo. His name was Robert.
Another Virgo.
And I thought, whoa, okay. And I played with them. And then I would do, I read the cards. I told people, don't look at my cards and go by what you've learned from a book or whatever. I read the cards differently. Actually, each time I look at a card, it can have a different meaning every time based on whatever I flash at in that moment. So I'm more psychic than I am a tarot reader, a professional tarot reader. So I would go to my girlfriend, she was a beautician, and I would sit in the back and, $5 a read, I'd throw out a spread. And I would make all kinds of money because everybody wanted a reading. And I thought, gee, I might have something here. Then I became a nurse, so nobody has time for readings. And then I got cancer after I retired. And when I got cancer, as I was praying to help me not die, I had no breasts, I had no hair, and I was praying to the higher realm, please don't let me die. My boys are still young. Their dad was an alcoholic. I was so afraid what would happen. If I died, what would happen to them? And this man said to me as clear as day in my right ear, you know there's no such thing as death. What are you doing? And in that moment, I felt totally embarrassed. I felt ashamed. And I kind of cringed and I said, oh, yeah. And I was walking my dog, Moochie, at the time. I said, oh, yeah, you're right. And in that moment, I gave myself to the higher realm. I just gave myself, just energetically, into thy hands I commence my spirit. I said, it's up to you. I give myself to you in total faith. If I die, I die. I know at the end of the day, everything's going to be okay because you're covering it. And I trust you and I believe in you. Because I'm thinking like I'm talking to God. And after I said that, the dog stopped walking, which was unusual because he liked to push me. Come on, mama. Come on, mama. And he sat down, and I thought it was like King Kong coming through the trees. This was a path. This wasn't a road. It was up in the Marin Hills. And all of a sudden you see the trees waving, and I thought, oh, there's a wind coming. And and the dog stopped, so I'm like pulling him to take him off the path because I didn't know if the rangers were pulling through with one of their jeeps, because there was a rumbling. And then boom, something hit me so hard, and I stepped back, and I could feel this energy go through me. It was the weirdest thing, and I heard, "Thy will be done." And then after that, I couldn't sleep for 2 days. I was zooming like if I touch a socket, I would have blown it out. My hands smelt like the earth, which my native friends now say that's healing. I had a spontaneous healing. Because, by the way, the cancer was gone after that. But I didn't know what else happened. I was just like tripping, like, whoa, what was that? So then I didn't know that my abilities had blown up. So I went to a place called Angel Heart for You, and Carol Mayer, who was working there, was looking for psychics. And everybody said I was good, and I said, well, I'll try it out. And she said, sure, yeah, we'll take you $30 a reading. I went in there, and it was good to get out of the house, go to Benicia, very pretty city, and I would do some readings. Next thing you know, I'm so booked, it's not even funny. I mean, she was swamped with requests. She had to make a waiting list. She goes, what the hell magic do you have? But while I was doing these readings, I had a woman come in that son had died in a motorcycle crash. I've talked about this story a lot, but he's a real tall, crystal blue eyes, beard with motorcycle boots, and he walked through the wall. I could see him, not in an esoteric kind of way. And she was sobbing, wailing. I couldn't look at her because I was afraid I'd start crying too. He proceeded to tell me exactly how he died. I'm saying it out loud. And she was just crying more, how he had put the bike down. He was heading towards an 18-wheeler. And I guess he hit the tires, but he hit hard enough that it killed him. And then they revived him, and they brought him to the hospital. And I could hear the screaming of the girlfriend and the mother, because the woman that was his girlfriend had 2 of his children. And he told me his great regret that he never married her. He wished he had married her. And then she's still wailing and crying, and he looked at me, I'll never forget it, because he was still kind of gruff in his energy. And he said, Linda? I said, yeah. And those eyes, I can never forget those eyes. He said, would you tell her I'm more alive now than when I had a body? And of course I said that to her, but you know how some people are so consumed, especially if you lose a child, so consumed in their grief, they can't come outside of that. She was one of those. She heard me, but she didn't hear me. And so, he even said to me, she's making this all about her. And then I started having these profound mediumship experience, like a young man that walked through the wall with a blue suit and a red tie. And I had just done a reading with this woman who told me that her son I saw her son. He's on the other side, and my head hurt so bad. Says, Jesus, did he pop his skull or what? What the hell's going on? She said he shot himself right in front of her. So we do this reading. She had all these dead relatives. And then this young man comes in. I said, hold on, there's a young man here. And she said he was from New York. And she said, New York. And he said he died in the World Trade Center, because he turned like this and he showed me the towers dropping. And she's looking, and he's your cousin, he said. And she goes, no. And then she looked kind of weird, and she said, oh, wait a second. My cousin Myrtle's son died in the 9/11. So it was still a cousin. Do you know what I'm saying? She didn't get it at that moment. She said, well, and he wants you to tell his mom he's fine, because the woman was really mourning that he was a newlywed, and the wife had remarried. And the wife had gone on with her life and having the grandchildren she thought she should have. And he said, Mom, it's okay. This was as planned. The guy was happy as hell. Please tell my mom to move on. So she called her cousin in New York and told her what I said. And I guess she dropped the phone because she passed out. Because it was true.
Do you find that most mediumship readings, the people on the other side who passed are in a happier state than they
Yeah,
were here.
because they're in the all-encompassing love. Now, a lot of people did some things they regret, and I can get that too, but mostly that love is so vibrationally high, it melts it off of you. You
Mm-hmm.
can't get away with anything over there. It's
Mm-hmm.
good. It's
Mm-hmm.
better to be in this lifetime and know what you did to hurt others. And just like that alcohol anonymous, I guess they do that, call everybody. I don't know about calling everybody, but I know if you see things you did wrong, ask the universe for forgiveness. Ask them psychically for forgiveness because it's easier when you cross over.
Ah, because we all go through that review, right?
Yeah, we all go through the review.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. So you started your mediumships at Angel Heart for You, and then you were doing that for a few years, and you did a show with Champagne. What was her name?
Kirsten Langston.
Yeah.
And it was she dolls up, she looks at dorbs, she had lights, and I'm like, I could never do this. She had me read on Tupac and all these people. I have no idea who they are. She said I was dead on, but anyway. So one day I'm in my bedroom, and remember, I'd already made that agreement in my psyche. No way would I do YouTube because it's too much work. And that man that talked to me on the walk came back and said, you're going to do a YouTube video or a YouTube show. I said, oh, hell to the no. And being that they spontaneously healed me from cancer. What's to stop them from hitting me with lightning at that moment? I can't believe that I sassed back. And he said, Linda, you will help calm them down. That was his exact words. So I
And
went in front of this computer, not this one, it was a different one. And my son helped me because I knew nothing about YouTube. He helped me to get a YouTube channel. And he said, Mom, when you reach this many, we can monetize it. And I'm like, what's that? Oh, a little bit of money. Okay, well, let's try it. And it just grew and grew. But I'll tell you one thing that you'll never see on my channel. I've never asked people to subscribe. I have this embarrassment about asking people to subscribe. I'll ask for you to subscribe to other people. But I've never, you can look at all my shows, or other people who are guests will say, be sure to subscribe to Linda. I've never asked people to subscribe, and yet they still came. I've never done commercials because I just got hit by Fiji Water wanting me to do a commercial for them.
you mentioned that. I watched your show yesterday. That was a great
Yeah.
show.
And I was like, I love Fiji water. And for
Mm.
a minute I thought, but I don't like the hassle of being obligated to someone else. I want to do my show the way I want to do, and whoever wants to see it can see it.
Mm-hmm. So the reason you needed to calm people down was what? This was,
They knew, not me. They knew.
they
You
knew you
will
needed.
help calm them down. Think about it. Because Trump was in office.
Aha, there it is. Okay. That's when you started your YouTube channel.
And then at first I was anti-Trump, Orange Crush, whatever. And they said, Linda, stop talking trash, which we can't help. Stop it because it only affects your energy. It doesn't hurt him. Tell everybody to calm down. I remember when I said that, people threatened to quit my channel. Oh, how could you even say that? But then a little while later, people came back and said, I thought about it. You're right. And don't waste your energy on that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see that for sure, because that's a low level energy that we don't want to sink into that. We're here to raise the vibration,
Yeah.
and your humor as well as your common sense approach really just carries that through.
The whole Durham family, my maiden name is Durham, and my dad had a dry, funny guy. My sister is hella funny. She's got a very dry sense. My brother was a Joe Blow kid, you know, clown. But we've always liked to make each other laugh. So that's part of who I am. Jeff Brinkhouse at the
Yeah.
high school reunion, when I did a thing when I talked about it, this is in the 1990s, I think. We were at some club, and I heard him say, in high school, she was very shy.
Didn't know you very well.
I
Neither
didn't
did
know
I,
you very
actually.
well then.
We Linda and I graduated in the same high school class, and but we didn't know each other really well then. It was a big school, and I was only there for a short time. So, but I did get
I
to
think
know.
we graduated in 1992, right?
Yes, that's right.
That's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
I'll support you. Um, but we reconnected a few years back when we were working together on an alumni project,
Yeah.
and she
Well,
was
we
at my
really reconnected with Sedona.
yeah. But
I hired her as a volunteer.
yes, yes, I went to Sedona as a volunteer. Thank you, Linda, and worked with a woman who helped me discover that I have a talent as well. So
Right.
my gift as well opened up right there.
Yeah.
And I'm a healer. I'm not the mediumship person. My gift is through healing, rather. Um, but when we were doing the alumni meetings, you were here at my house one time, and you came outside after using the restroom, and you said, there's a ghost in your house. And I said, I'm not surprised.
It was a
And
Victorian woman with the high neck collar, walking down the stairway.
yeah, and I figured out who she was.
Ooh.
And she was the mother-in-law of the woman I bought the house from.
Mm.
And that type of dress would have perfectly fit her. She lived in the house upstairs, where you saw her coming down from. And anyway, I have tried to connect with her recently, and Spirit is telling me she's no longer here.
Oh, Shorty
She's
passed
moved
her.
on. She's moved on. But she was a happy spirit. She
Yeah,
was
I
here.
didn't feel any kind of weirdness at all.
Right, right. Yeah. Because she had happy memories here. She was coming back to revisit those from time to time, but she's moved on. And
Well, that my childhood home I grew up in,
yeah.
which was only 5 years old when we moved in. My parents lived there 60 years, but the energy with my dad and my mom wasn't positive. It was a
Hmm.
lot of pain there, and my dad was violent, and my brother used to get beat merciless out in the garage.
Mercilessly.
He put
Yeah.
his head through the garage door,
Ouch.
and we were kids screaming and yelling, and that energy manifests into I'm telling you, because when dad was in the hospital, mom was already dead. I took a ghost team to the house, and we made in the garage, we did a table with our computers. We gave a ghost hunter a walkie talkie, and he sat in the living room in my dad's chair, and then we had a walkie talkie, and we just started. We just turned everything on. And all of a sudden, through the walkie talkie, you could hear a woman crying, "Help me! Help me! Help me!" 3 times. Boy, we all stood up. We're like, "Did you hear that?" And the guy that was in the living room comes flying through into the kitchen, through the garage door, and he put his face on. He said, "Did you guys hear that?" And as soon as he said it, the wall where he's standing, the wall between the kitchen and the garage, boom, 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 huge. It shook. It was so loud.
Wow.
And it was like, nope, this place is haunted. I'm packing my stuff and getting the hell out of here. And when I used to go to that house to get stuff for dad that he needed because he was at the VA, I would run in and run out. That place was spooky. That place was haunted. But check this out. After dad died, it all dissipated. It all stopped. That's
Interesting.
weird. Yeah.
That was up E Street, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
our neighbor, my babysitter, committed suicide down the hill. Two little Catholic boys saw her as they're going down Kelly Hill. She died slitting her wrists and putting the hose through the thing, and she was pregnant. She was only 16.
Oh
And
no.
then the little boy down the street accidentally drowned in a little, just a little tiny stream that they had built to make it pretty in the back, but he fell face forward and drowned in it. And he died, and it took them like 10 years to get this baby. It took them forever to get pregnant. And so then the mailman comes by and he notices the door's a little ajar, and both the parents are laying there dead because they had committed suicide.
Oh, wow. That's
And then my
horrible.
neighbor across the street from Portugal, he sent his wife to Portugal to see the family. He was the guy who owned the house was a big contractor for Hayward. He had built another house, so he let his brother have that house. So the guy moved himself and his family there, and then I guess she couldn't get a hold of him. She was calling from the airport, and a cab pulled up, and she goes down there and opens the garage door, and there he's hanging right there.
Oh gosh.
You see all that weird energy that
Yeah.
manifests into some powerful
That-
stuff.
yeah. Wow. Well, that was in your childhood.
Hmm.
Okay. So you've written a lot about this in your book.
Yeah, and I
Oh,
think Patricia Arquette, Academy Award winner Patricia Arquette, because she was one of the most famous persons that listened to me on the show. She had me read her and her boyfriend at the time. And then before you know it, we become buds because she's just as down to earth as a girlfriend up the street. So she decided she wanted me to get this book going. So she hired people that do books, even though my book is half assed. And she flew me to Malibu so I could work for a week with no interruptions. I did my conceptual outline and I filled it in later when I got home. But thanks to her, I got it out of the way. But the guys had told me I was going to do a book, and I was like, yeah, right, okay. I got to listen to the guides.
yeah. They told you do the YouTube channel. They told you the
And
book.
lots of times they tell me, Linda, shut up. And I just don't listen to them.
Oh my gosh. So you have the book and you have your YouTube, and you've done retreats, and people were raving about the Sedona retreats. Those were wonderful. I think that, yeah, Lynn
You know
will
what I
attest to
liked about
that.
Sedona? Everything was there. Your
Right
room and
there.
board, your food was delicious vegetarian food, fresh
Yes, it was.
grown. Your classrooms were there. We didn't have to travel anywhere. It was all there.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you've done shows in Chicago and San Francisco,
Now I'm going to Canada with
in
Kevin.
Vancouver coming up in
Yeah. And some island apparently is supposed to be beautiful.
Vancouver Island. Yeah. Yeah. It
And
should.
then where else did I? Benicia. I did that show in Benicia.
Yeah. You've been to Malibu to do a show, didn't you? Once down there? Or just an appearance? Just maybe it was the book. Um,
Not Malibu. I went to Laguna
Laguna
Hills.
Beach. Laguna Beach.
I went to Laguna Hills and did an event
Laguna Hills. Okay. I knew it was down in LA
near
area.
Laguna
Yeah.
Beach.
Yeah. Lagucci Beach. um, so uh, most of what your videos are about are political. At least
Yeah.
that's
Don't
the
watch me
most
if you're a
popular.
Trumpster for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you're for the other guy, you won't be watching Linda. Um, but as you say, um, you do stress that we are not to get mad or,
It's very hard not to.
yes, it is. And
That's a real test because recently the guides, I just did a video on it, and I get pieces, is how I get. Sometimes it's hard to put into words. But basically, they were telling me that all of this is going to be done by the end of this year. And they told me that basically that Trump may even just disappear. Not that he's going to die, not that he's getting impeached, almost like he's gone, which was weird. Okay, just FYI, I'll put it out there. It could happen or not happen. But they also said all of this happened for a reason. It's not just Trump, it's that those vampires that are with him,
Yeah.
biting. And they're losing power. Just watch what's happening. They're losing. Look at JD Vance in Milan. People are just booing. But then you've got NBC, cutting the booing out so you can't hear it. So shame on those rich people that are doing this.
Right.
We are going to be in justice. We will see a calmness by the end of the year. People are writing me saying, Linda, I can't last to the end of the year. Well, what option do you have? Take care of yourself. Be good to yourself. Vibrationally give peace to the world. And know that, the magic is going to happen. He's already losing people. He's down to 27%. He's losing people. Like they say, oh, well, you better not do this or we're going to be doing this. With what? Most people don't like you anymore. Not even the Cubans and Puerto Ricans. Nobody likes you anymore.
I think everybody's starting to wake up. And, I think you've mentioned recently, well, I've noticed in a lot more frequently, even as you are recording, you're doing a show because you got this hit and you want to talk about it. And then as you're talking about it, you're going, wait a minute. Okay, go ahead. And you're listening. These hits are coming through to you. How does that come through? How do you get the message?
With pictures.
Sometimes with pictures.
But it's like information that's not necessarily sentence. It's like flashes, like a flash of information. That's how I picked up, because I was praying and I was begging for the world, and I said, why? Why do we have them here? Why don't you just pick them up and throw them off the earth? And they said, this is all for a reason. We will be a greater nation. Other nations are going to learn to take care of themselves now because they can't trust America, which is probably better for the other nations. We have to regain everybody's trust again. So things are going to get better. Things are definitely going to get better.
We're getting I think it's kind of like a cleansing that has to take place. And,
right. It's going to take a while. It's not sunshine lollipops immediately, but it's definitely, we're going to make sure our Constitution is boom. We're not going to let anybody, I like the little hands clapping on Diana's. Look at that. You go, girl. It's not going to be like sunshine lollipops, but it's like post-Hitler. It's going to be, people don't want to see this ever again. Not ever again.
Yeah,
and we're going to make sure no convict gets to become president. Nobody that refuses to give their IRS information, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of changes, but let me tell you, I didn't realize how huge it was going to be, but this Epstein thing is going to knock it out of the park. There's so many people who we loved and were beloved who are part of this in the movie business, in the sports business, television. All these people are going to be brought forward. Things are going to change. You know what? I really like Leo DiCaprio. And he was in Milan, and he was walking to a car, and he had some guards around. Do you know he covered his face to get into the car? What does that tell you? What does that tell you? It tells you he's guilty. He doesn't want people to see him because he's a perv.
Oh,
poor Leo, my God. Why, Leo? He could have had any woman he wanted.
Is his name on the list?
Oh, yeah, it was showed up a lot of times. I got to find out about Bill Clinton, though, because I really didn't think Bill Clinton would do that with children. But maybe he did.
I'm hearing from others that supposedly he was not involved in the trafficking. that apparently he um, enjoyed the parties
Yeah,
and the social aspect. But
because my dear friend had a girlfriend at an event. He played for a very famous band, and the band was playing at some event, and Clinton was there. And Clinton, he said, chased his girlfriend mercifully, like a teenager. He chased after her. It was embarrassing.
mm,
This is after he's no longer president,
oh
and
dear.
he's still acting like a fool, you know. But she's a woman. She's an adult woman, you know. Because I didn't see him liking children at all. But you know, if Epstein was handing him money and free plane rides and all that, yeah, you know, him and his Hillary from Arkansas, they were used to be poor. Heck
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. So you think that this orange guy is going to be out of the picture by the end of the year?
Soon. It could be, it's, the guides told me it's all happening now as we speak.
It's
And if you
already
think
underway.
about where we even were 4 or 5 months ago to now, it's happening.
Thank you. Hmm. And
Look at the big, where you guys remember, where they just had a big, somebody just won in red country. Another Democrat just won in red country.
yeah, a
You
couple
see
of them.
what's going, yeah, I don't care what they say. We're going to slam them come November.
Mm, I hope so. I hope so. So you said it's not going to be sunshine and lollipops.
No.
And so what do you think we should be doing, or what do the guides tell you that we should be doing
We've
to
got to
prepare for that?
stand in the realm and be as quiet as you can and circle the earth with that beautiful silver glimmering light around it. Thank the universe. I know it's crazy. Like I thanked the universe for my cancer because I knew it was going to take me to a bigger place. So I said, thank you. I know I'll learn from this and I know this will do me right, which it did. It totally changed my life. So thank the universe. Tell them, you know, this too shall pass. You don't have to think in terms of, you know, curses. It breaks our heart though to see what he's doing, and it just breaks our heart to see grown people like they're having a governor's ball and they didn't include the one black governor. You see that racist, god awful thing going on there. People have the Hispanics, all
So,
type of nations have suffered, but this white man comes in there thinking he owns it all. You don't know nothing,
mhm,
jump ass sucker.
yeah.
Ask my Comanche relatives. They'll tell them right now. But you know what's weird? Most Hispanics were for Trump. Can you believe it?
Well, a lot of the ones that voted, yeah, but um, I think
Because
their eyes have opened.
yeah.
Yeah,
But this is what keeps the food on the table for MSNBC and a lot of people. A lot of
sure.
this stuff, they run what he said. He threatened that he's going to nationalize the voting. I said, oh, bullpucky. But boy, those places are running. Oh, he's run. No, he can't do it. He cannot do it. Even the Supreme Court would say, no, you can't do it.
Yeah,
But people are more, they run with it. Like, oh, so that's what the guides want you to do. They don't want you to be afraid because that creates chaos.
right.
They want you to know, oh, yeah, yeah, talk all you want. This too shall pass.
Don't
It's
live in
going to be
fear.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
You know, I was just thinking
Yeah.
about Epstein and Clinton, and I could tell Epstein was, you know, he was trying to get everybody in his Rolodex, including Clinton. So, what is Clinton like? He likes money, he likes parties, and he went for what he liked. And there's people who like girls, and there's people who like. And I thought, I wonder if he would have got me if he told me what was in the buffet.
You
Well,
always
Linda,
joke
we're
about
going
the
to be
food.
serving blah blah. Oh, really?
I'll sign me up. Y'all can be there. Yeah. Um, so you did retire,
Yes.
if you will. And do you find that you've now been able to do your own thing more, or has that,
I feel busier.
you feel busier? Yeah, I
Remember, I
agree
did
with you.
Monday through Thursdays in the morning, and I was just, but it wore me out because I'm 72 now, and
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
I
I know how
can't
old you are, lady.
I can't keep on this way. I have to have, I only read 4 people a month from free readings, and that's enough.
But you do all those videos.
I love
That's,
the videos.
yes, and it's keeping you really
The
busy.
videos make me happy. I love when they tell me what's going to happen because it's supposed to make people okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Except, remember that young girl, the blonde girl that, what was her name? Patty
Oh,
or Peta?
Gabby.
Gabby. And everybody kept saying, "What happened to her, Linda? She's missing." And I didn't know who she was. And I put my phone up and I looked at her. I said, "Oh, yeah, she's gone." I could see her as clear as day. She's in spirit. And she's telling me her boyfriend did it. And she's telling me that he's going to end up shooting himself, which all of that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was so sure, it just came out with it. And I try not to say somebody's dead already, but then when they asked about Nancy
Mm-hmm.
Guthrie, immediately I saw she was gone.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
do feel they find the body, and I do feel it's somebody inside. Maybe not necessarily family, but somebody that knew her.
Close to her.
Yeah. And today they've been in her daughter's house. The
Mm-hmm.
daughter who married to that weird guy. Something's about ready to break.
Yeah, that's a shame. But that's a wonderful, wonderful gift that you have shared with us over the years. What do you foresee for yourself in the
Oh, I
future?
can't. I can't.
You don't do that.
I can't even read the cards on myself.
Aha.
I can't,
Okay.
especially the pendulum, because I want it to answer the way I want. Well, Gerard Butler and I hook up, and it always says yes. But I know it's lying.
That's funny.
No, I can't read on myself.
You're
Oh, but
used.
you guys, Joy Harjo, my friend that's the first
Yeah.
Native American poet laureate. Um, she just had a reading with a woman who's a native. $115 for an hour. I'm going to have my reading next week with her. Mary, I could let you know first because she's going to get booked if I think.
Oh, yeah,
Joy
yeah.
said she's one of the best she's ever had.
Wow.
So if she's that good and I announce her, they're going to go cray cray. She's going to
Yeah.
book up. You can do a reading for $60 for 30 minutes. So yeah,
I'd
I'll
love to
let
hear
you
about
guys
that.
know.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Thank you. So I think we might have a few questions.
Okay.
And I'm going to call on you
Just don't
because
ask me how much I weigh.
I've learned that one. I'm going to start with Kaya.
Hi,
Thank
Kaya.
you. Thank you. Hello. Um,
Let's
well,
keep it short, Kaya, because we have others and we have to
I'll
be
do
out
the
of here
best.
by 2.
I'll do the best I can. It's
Okay.
really, um, I am a follower or a part of the ET community, and
Ooh.
and the way I look at the whole political situation is, okay, um, they will come eventually, and they are
They're
willing
here.
to
They're
help
not.
us.
They're not going to come. They're here. They're everywhere. They're watching
Yeah,
us
but
at
I
all
mean,
times.
I'll just try to say this quickly. It's hard.
Okay.
Uh, that they are willing to give us some support and help us evolve, which I don't see anything really very hopeful if we don't evolve as a species.
Well, let
And
me tell you what they told me.
okay,
I actually talked to an ET person, got him psychically out of the blue. I think I was doing a show and I could see his face as clear as day. And he told me they cannot interrupt with man's free will.
that's right.
So it's up to us to learn our lessons in this life. They can't interrupt, but they
Yeah,
can protect the earth or anything nuclear because it affects them too. So they
yes,
will intercede.
right. That much I got. And one of the things that I've read and heard or whatever, I'll say it quickly, is that if there is half there has to be a little bit over half of the earth, or us, the species, us, um, to ask for their help, and because they are willing to work with us, but they, of course, they can't intervene
Yeah.
unless it's a
And how do
nuclear.
you get everybody? I believe that. But
Mhm.
remember, they work by free will. So if our will is to please help us, then probably not enough people are asking right now. We need to get everybody to ask. But so
That
many
makes
people
sense.
don't believe it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Great.
Anyway,
Thanks,
thank
Kaya.
you. That was a burning question and still.
Thank you. Ron, how about you?
Hi, Ron.
Hi, I haven't got a question, but I want to confirm something that Linda G said when she
Uh-oh.
talked about taking, when she had cancer and he intervened, things like that. So my experience is I had a near-death experience myself, okay? When I was sick, I had epilepsy, attacks, the energy that I saw coming right through my body and took the whole sickness away.
Oh,
I
I
confirm
love it.
that. And I was in front of a hospital and I never had another attack my whole life of epilepsy. So it's like a
Wow.
miracle. So what Linda G said a while ago, I confirm it.
Okay.
And
Thank you,
another
Ron.
thing I would like to add, just a small thing, is that, you know, people that you're getting heavy, toxic, all this stuff, and going down, you feel you sucked into something, you can always find a space where you're passionate about and stay in the joy. Find
Stay
joy
in
in
that.
your own life. Once you find that spot, go back to it. That will help humanity go forward.
Yep.
That's why they
Yeah.
say the breathing. That's why Eckhart Tolle
Yeah,
taught me
yeah,
about the breathe. Breathe in, because then
yeah.
you go into a place of consciousness. And when
Mm,
you're conscious, you're in the nothingness, which
yeah.
sounds like, well, what use is that? That connects us vibrationally to the higher realm. The realm cannot work through you if you're constantly in a state of resistance. The only way to come out of the
Right.
resistance is to breathe and be in that space. 3 breaths a day, and you don't have to do or any kind of meditation. You just stand in that realm, and eventually your vibrational energy gets higher and higher. Like even in my life right now, since I've been practicing this, I can manifest so easily. It's amazing.
That's
Except
But but
wonderful.
Gerard
but
Butler
I
didn't
do
give
have
a
a
damn.
question because about the other side, okay? Because this one thing I want to ask Linda. Do you find, because you've been on the other side, like me, you saw
Yeah.
the other side. I find there's are levels on the other side, just like
Yes.
several letters, uh, levels. I mean, and the more you are share your love, the more you're kind, the higher you'll be when you transit on
Mhm.
the other side.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yep. Yep. Thank you, Ron.
You're
And
welcome.
Diana.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
can hear you, sweetie.
Yeah, so I'll try to keep this brief. So I am a trans woman. Started transitioning about a year and a half ago. I turned 62 a week from tomorrow. 2 years ago, on 2 days before my 60th birthday, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And the way I've experienced my whole journey is that, being male, going through life as a male-bodied person and living as such, and I was considered very masculine. That's how I experienced myself. Uh, Needed to die, and the cancer treatment, which really didn't affect me that much, luckily, um, was almost like that part of my body was diseased and needed to go, and as such, that the treatment involved in part of that was actually taking estrogen in order both to suppress my testosterone, and then it turns out that taking estrogen would facilitate my healing as well. So I was in the midst 2 years ago on this dual track of dealing with the cancer and dealing with my gender situation. So one of the things I wanted to note is that I've had an experience that I have very strong psychic and empathic abilities, and I kind of feel as if somehow that those are growing even stronger in parallel with me coming into fruition with my life. And I'll say one last thing, and that is actually a couple of days ago, I still sometimes go out and present the world as male, but I realize that I can't do that anymore. It's just too crazy making,
Yeah.
and that I've made a choice that I'm going to start putting away my male clothes because I just need to like cut ties with that altogether, especially since, like I said, my birthday is coming up here very rapidly. So I just want
Right.
to put that out
But
there.
don't put yourself in the need to. You just do, you go with the flow. You know you were a female before you took this body. That's why it never felt right since you've taken this body. Like something was off. Just
Well,
like
I mean,
suicides. A lot of people that I read that were suicides always hated being in this world. They were mad that they came here.
yeah, that's how I've experienced life. I've done past life regressions, and I was always female in those.
Yeah.
Looking back, I was either a mother with children, with married and all that stuff, or or I was sort of like a warrior woman who had my sisters, and we would go to battle. One of the things given the current political situation, being both black and trans, I'm very much aware of what's going on, you know, and I know I have had the skills and the energy to go out and publicly combat this stuff. But I've had multiple people, including some of the people here, who said that that's not your role. Your role is to go be yourself. And to echo
Be
what Ron
yourself.
said,
Exactly.
it's just that the light that's coming through is what will actually make the difference. And it's still my old male identity is still trying to let that go and
Right.
invert that. It's like, because I was supposed to, the way I experienced life was to go out, I was supposed to go out there and do something and not, and I feel as
But
if like,
then here, this is what you're doing. You're overthinking it.
well,
Remember,
that,
and I do that all the time. You hand it to the realm and you say, lead me. You tell me. When I get stuck in things, I always say, like when they told me, what are you doing? You know there's no such thing as death. And I felt so embarrassed. I handed it over. I said, fair enough. If I die, I die. Whatever. Lead me. You tell me. And they did. They took the reins. So if you're stuck and you're overthinking and I need to cut this out, and then you're identifying with being judged and you're identifying, no, hand it over and tell
well,
them, you're following your heart's desires, and that's all that matters.
one quick thing, and then I'll shut up, and that is that, yesterday actually I decided, Friday into yesterday, I decided I would just surrender. And I went to a political event yesterday, and some people there knew who I was, and so, but people just saw me as a woman. And I kind of experienced that, this is remarkable given everything I'm going through. And like I said, I was just surrendering to the energy. And then I went shopping afterwards, and I found some really nice clothes that were inexpensive. But it hit me while I was shopping is that I could wear almost any style of clothing, women's clothes, of this huge range of sizes, and they look good on me. And
Oh, that's
there's a
great.
part of me that's like, it's just like, here it is, it's just
Yeah.
There you go.
like,
See,
yeah,
spirits,
I'm a woman and I
spirits
can't
teach
say the
you.
same.
yeah. So I just want to
Thank,
put that out there and to thank you
thank you.
for your insights and your comments
Thank you,
today.
Diana.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Catch yourself from overthinking.
Yeah, yeah. So trusting your intuition, right?
Yeah.
So, Linda, I promised you we'd be out of here by 2 o'clock our time, so you can get back to your Super Bowl party planning.
I could care less who wins the Super Bowl, but I got food. I made corned beef and cabbage and carrots and fresh rolls, and I got some family members here. And I don't have no dessert, though. I don't know what the hell was wrong with me.
Well, is Deb coming?
No, Deb
Oh,
is sick with that flu cold.
oh shoot. Oh,
You
we'll
know,
give her
she
my best.
sounds like
Oh
a
my gosh.
horse, She's
Wow.
just, her lungs are coming up, just like me. I had it for 3 weeks.
Yep, yep, yeah. I remember that. That
Yeah.
was bad. I've had a couple of friends who've been through that.
It's
So,
really
yeah.
bad, and I made it through. I'm 72, but they gave me prednisone and albuterol. But let
Oh,
me tell you something. At 82, I don't know if I could live through that.
yeah. That might be another story. Yeah. Well,
And I wasn't hungry, so I was at death's door.
that is a telltale right there. Okay, well, I'm going to hit the stop button on the record, and
Thank you
release
guys
you.
for coming.
Thank you, Linda. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate you and your insights. Please, I'm
You
going to
got a
send out an
beautiful
email.
group here. You got a
Yeah.
beautiful group here.
And I'm going to send the link to the show or to the YouTube connection on it. And I'll include your connections, your contact info and website and all that kind of stuff so that people
Okay.
can look you up and
Thank you, honey.
subscribe.
Well, not for me. You didn't hear that from me. It's
Nope.
the numbers don't matter. All that matters is the message.
Sounds good.
So,
All right.
all right, you guys. Thank you. God's peace
Happy
and love
Super
to all of you.
Bowl. See you
Thank
next
you.
month. Thank you all.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Oh, wait.
Bye.
Before you go,
Oh,
Yeah.
we should do a breathing with the prayer.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, make sure both your feet are on the ground. Are you ready?
We're ready.
I want you to take a deep breath in. Now breathe it out. Deep breath in. Now breathe it out. Deep breath in. Now breathe it out. We ask the Creator and those that are around us to protect us and to protect all good peoples in the world. We ask that this nation heals. We ask for peace and good health to all who are watching this show and to others. We thank you for everything that we have, and we thank you for being here. And we're not afraid of the other side because we know it's a beautiful place that welcomes us. Amen. Yay!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
you.
you.
So much.
Thank you, you guys.
All
So
right.
good to see you, Linda.
Good to see you. Bye.
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 Thank you all.
Go
bye-bye.
Niners.
Yeah.
Okay, you
Minus
guys.
the Niners, Seattle. Okay.
Bye.